So, as you know, we talked about very recently about the possible, and it is a possible donations because we still don't know if it's going to happen. Um, I wouldn't expect Elon Musk to keep quiet about it. Neither would I think Nigel Farage would, of course, keep quiet about it if this donation would happen. And of course, as we said before, I think this would be the biggest uh, potential political donation in UK history. Of course, $100 million is something like um, what 80K, something like that. I think roundabouts there. I think something like that. Not 100% sure the exchange rate, but that is a lot of money for a political party to receive. A lot of money for a political party to receive. So if I was a transparency or like pro democracy campaigner right now, I would be screaming from the rooftops because there's two things that have happened this week. This, of course, would be the first one. You know, how dare Elon Musk, who doesn't even live in the UK, donate to a political party that he just happens to be like? Why should we allow him to donate to this? Now, we did obviously bring up what the Conservative home reaction was to this, and they were very upset about this as well because they have in the past received a lot of political donations from people like Elon Musk, but of course they don't have to disclose them. Or they encourage, shall we say, well, don't worry, give to the Taxpayers Alliance, and the Taxpayers Alliance can give to us because then the Taxpayers Alliance doesn't have to tell who gave that donation. So, as you can see, dark money, as it's called, should be fought and pushed back against. And the other big event, which I think is just as needs to be brought to light and linked to this, I think, in a lot of ways, is just what's gone in Romania. So you had this complete rando out of nowhere, basically kind of just goes, I'm running for president. He only campaigned on TikTok, nowhere else apparently, just on TikTok, and yet thousands of Russian ads, or at least ads for him, appeared on TikTok, which he then didn't declare, which the Romanian security services looked into and have found that, yes, they have come from Russia. Bear in mind, we've also seen now that the Russian media and Russian propaganda outlets over there are trying to push this narrative to get Moldavian soldiers to go and invade Romania, supposedly from Romanian soldiers asking them to come and join in this coup that they're planning. Yeah. So we should be very, very worried about any outside interference, and these rules have needed tightening for a long time, And now you've got a government that is going, yes, we actually really need to sort of tighten these rules about this, but there is also an all-parliamentary group of over 100 MPs that have said, no, we need to go even further. Like, we need to go even further with these rules because there is still a big, big problem with dark money influencing, like things like the Taxpayers Alliance. Mysterious funding. We still don't know where all the funding comes from this, but have infinite access to media and TV studios constantly getting on the air, constantly. That's for sure. So, yeah, wild times ahead. Wild times ahead, indeed. That's for sure. So I just want to go over this some more because it is worth bringing up that this has been brought up in Parliament and discussed, and the Electoral Commission are looking into this as well, and are soon going to sort of bring their report forward about what they recommend the government should do. So once again, when that report comes out, this is something that you should be writing to your MP about and saying, hey, the Electoral Commission came out with this report. What are you doing about it? What are you doing to make sure what they say happens? Like, what policy are you going to put forward? Are you going to sort of recommend that Parliament does this? Are you going to sort of, like they said in the report? So, absolutely, when that report comes out, write to your MP and say, hey, MP, whatever, so and so, mine's Dan Jarvis. What are you doing about this electoral commission report that talks about foreign interference and sort of foreign donations and sort of closing more of these loopholes off, so that our elections and not only our democracy can remain free of not only foreign influence but influence from who knows what. And particularly, of course, you should also remember to highlight once again maybe the Russia reports. I am somewhat disappointed that Labour hasn't really brought up the Russia report again. Again, maybe I think maybe you need to do a new one at this point. Things have changed a lot since the original Russia report, of course, was written and said. Things have changed, of course, but definitely something that does need to be addressed, because very recently, I think it was the Observer, might have been the Independent, did a very long piece, very long piece indeed, about how Russia is now looking to recruit criminals here in the UK, people who are dissatisfied with like the UK government, to disrupt and sabotage the UK. And yet there are people out there who will just say, "Oh no, Russia's not a problem. Don't be too mean to Russia." I'm sorry. There's only so much you can say before you have to go, well. And I still think, bear in mind, I still think that the fire at the nuclear submarine place just a couple of weeks, not a couple of weeks ago now. Well, yeah, last month I believe it was. We did a little YouTube short about it. That I still think might have been quite suspicious indeed, when that happened. Perfectly timed, of course, when we're hearing talks from people, the head of MI6 saying, yeah, Russia is their intelligence service has gone feral. You've got numerous examples of sabotage attempts throughout Europe, the UK, suspicious fires of at places where people have been supporting Ukraine and things like that have happened. The attempted assassination of the CEO of Rheinmetall. you know, but this is something that we really do need to take seriously, and I think stopping and tightening the rules around donations made by people from Elon Musk, because obviously technically he can't, but he can if he does it through Twitter, which is how he can get around it. So they're talking about putting a cap on. So first of all, it's 10 grand. Again, like it to be lower, but if they say 10 grand, okay, that will at least limit things for a moment. And sometimes, as I've said before, hey, if they do this and that is the cap, then great, victory, something that we can then push on to have other things in place as well. As I said, sometimes you've got to take sometimes your victories where you can get them. So definitely something good. It's good that this is being talked about not only in Parliament, it's being talked about in the House of Lords, and of course there is a big all parliamentary group of MPs, again well over 100 of them, who are calling for this. So the things that they are calling for is, of course, to create of a national commission for electoral reform. I think that would be very good indeed. Strengthening rules around what political funding and restoring powers now of the Electoral Commission, which I think very much so. The Electoral Commission needs to be re-empowered, needs to be given some teeth, needs to be given some, I think, statutory powers as well. And of course, a lot greater. They're pushing for a lot more transparency from social media platforms to go after misinformation and disinformation on social media. Something definitely needs to be done, but I think you need more of a concrete plan, because if you ask social media companies to self-regulate, they don't self-regulate. So maybe we set up a regulator. It could be the case. Could be the case that that's what we need to do. Again, not sure if that is going to be the silver bullet to the solution. Maybe it'll need a lot more than that. But just an idea. But put your ideas down below of what you would like to see maybe done in this scenario. But as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, links down below, Patreon page, buy me a coffee link, YouTube thank you button, and of course, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So as always, we'll see you all next time.